Hello, it's me, French Ted, and we are here for episode number 17 of our Lariat League Wrestling Local to Global series, and it is the penultimate episode before our next big event, Ashes II Ashes. And tonight there will be a number of announcements for Ashes to Ashes, because right now we don't have any confirmed matches. Actually, that's a lie, we do. We've got the Knights of the Lariat League match. It will be Gunpowder defending their title against Phantasmambo. Had to remember then, but Chuck on the screen helped me. And speaking of that match, we've got one half of each of the teams here in a pre-show bout. And in a match that had great wrestling and good heat, Bobby Guns gets the win. He defeats Chuck Mambo in 11 minutes. That's a quick one, isn't it? I thought we had it longer than that, but either way, 11-minute match, nice and short. Bobby Guns with a 65, Chuck Mambo with a 50, and one half of Gunpowder have got the momentum now for that match. And what I'm planning on doing is in the next episode, we're going to have El Hijo del Fantasma, who's now fully recovered, taking on Timothy Thatcher in a rematch of their 87 rated classic. So I've got high hopes for that. So should be a very, very good match, but that will be in the second half of this episode. Tonight, though, also, we will confirm our number one contender for Heidi, whatever her name is. That's really bad. I can't remember our current queen of the Lariat League's name. It's Heidi something. We'll be taking on one of 4 potential members. We'll also find out who will be our number one contender for Tyler Bate in tonight's main event. And there will also be one final special announcement. But let's head straight into the show. I believe this is the only pre-show match. And we start off with our first semi-final bout. And it's Aisha Ray taking on the leaving Aaliyah James. And oh, thank God. Oh no, I've just looked at the red. Jesus Christ. In a bout that had good wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd, Aisha Ray gets the win. She defeats Aaliyah James by pinfall with a suicide dive somehow in 24 minutes. Looking at this though, Aisha Ray has sustained an injury. She's got a strained bicep. That doesn't sound to me like anything too serious. So hopefully she recovers. We've got 2 weeks for her to recover, just under. So hopefully she does. But I guess that's dependent on if she can even compete in the next episode's final, or this episode's next show's final. So either way, Aisha Ray wins. She defeats Aaliyah James. 53 rated match, pretty good. 64 from Aisha, even with an injury. So that's pretty good. And post-match, just to add insult to injury, Aisha Ray, with one of her arms, stomps the living life out of Aaliyah James. And you can audibly hear her saying, "Have fun in NXT. See you later." And all of that kind of stuff. So Aisha Ray, a little bit bitter. I'd probably say that Aaliyah James is moving to America, or staying in America, because I think she travels at the moment, and signing full-time with NXT. But all that really matters is Aisha Ray is in our final, and she will be in the next Lariat League in London show and will main event, depending on how severe that injury is. And the other half of the semi-final will be tonight as well, because obviously the final's in the next show. But let's move on from this segment. Aaliyah James, this probably will be the final time we see her. So getting stomped out by Aisha Ray is one hell of a way to go. Following this is the other semi-final. And in a decent match, Zoe Lucas gets the win. She defeats Debbie Keitel in 19 minutes with the Lucas landslide. 42 rated match. Not the best, not the worst. Kind of average for us. Or as the game says, decent. Debbie Keitel with the better performance, but Zoe Lucas somehow still coming out on top. So the final is set, providing Aisha Ray's injury isn't too bad. It will be Aisha Ray taking on Zoe Lucas in the final. The winner will face our queen of the Lariat League, whose name I cannot remember, which is terrible. It's Heidi something, at Ashes II Ashes. It should be Millie. But it's not. She's out for a year and a bit, so it's going to be a while before we see Millie McKenzie again. I'm not letting her go though, because she's a big, big talent, and I'm hoping other companies let her go because of the injury, so that we're the only ones with her. But moving on in this show, we have got an announcement. William Regal announces that the main event tonight, which features 2 debuts in a 4-way match, The winner of that match will face Tyler Bate at Ashes II Ashes. We have our former king of the Lariat League, Ashton Smith. We've got Ricky Knight Jr., who has blagged his way into this. And we have 2 debutantes. Or I say debutantes, we have 1 returning wrestler and 1 pretty big name, I'd say. So let's not waste any time. Let's show you who's in the match and let's see who wins. Just an FYI, I haven't selected a winner in a match in a very long time, which is probably why I was confused why I thought Nixon Noor was going to win the other one, because in my head I was like, oh, Nixon's going to win, when she didn't. So yeah, I quite like not knowing, but obviously at events that's got to be planned. But yeah, let's find out who's in the 4-way, and more importantly, who is going on to Ashes II Ashes to face Tyler Bate. And in a bout that had superb wrestling and good heat, Ashton Smith, good old Ashton Smith, we're going to get a rematch at Ashes II Ashes. He defeats the debuting Dominic Dijakovic, Ricky Knight Jr. and the returning Dan Maloney in 23 minutes, when Ashton Smith pins Dan Maloney with a GTS, a 75 rated match, which is very, very good. Looking at the scores here, Maloney with a 62, Dijakovic with a 65, Ricky Knight with a 67, and Ashton Smith with a 72. Dan Maloney debuts his driller gimmick, got a great. Dijakovic with his biker gimmick got a great, awesome to see. Gives large penalty star quality, can be penalised. Penalised for comedy bouts, that's fine. This one, penalised for losing to comedy, so never have him face Grado. May receive a bonus when booked to look dominant. Oh, interesting. But yeah, that means it's going to be Ashton Smith, Tyler Bate, our second confirmed match for Ashes II Ashes, a rematch. Can Ashton Smith get his crown back? But that's not all. Ashton Smith has celebrated and he's left. He's like, see ya, I'm going to go get ready. These 3 men are still in the ring, kind of eyeing each other up, or eyeing each other down, however you want to look at it, when William Regal gets up from the commentary desk and says, whoa, 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 Maloney, Dijakovic, Ricky, hold your horses, because you 3 men are not done here. At Ashes II Ashes, the 3 of you will compete in our Princes of the Lariat League match, which means one of you 3 men will be crowned our inaugural Prince of the Lariat League, and that will be happening, as mentioned, at Ashes II Ashes. So we have another huge match confirmed. It's going to be Dan Maloney, Dominic Dijakovic and Ricky Knight Jr. facing each other, and the winner will become our first LLW Prince of the Lariat League. And that is how we end this show. With a 64, pretty good. Only the 3 matches, but 3 pretty big matches. Let's hope Aisha Ray's injury isn't too bad. I'm not going to have Zoe Lucas win on a technicality. So if Aisha Ray has lost, I will do a draw or something. I don't know. I'll do something to fill the gap. We have got a couple of women that I've hired since that weren't in the tournament, so it might be good to give one of them a chance. Who knows? We'll see. But I'm hoping Aisha Ray is fit and ready to go, because she's earned her place in the final, the same as Zoe Lucas. And we've also got the mentioned El Hijo del Fantasma taking on Timothy Thatcher in the next show, which you're going to see in a few moments. So let's stop talking, check out how Aisha Ray's doing, and head straight into Lariat League in London, week 4. Okay, and we are here for Lariat League in London, week 4, or episode 4 of the month. I don't know, however you want to call it. And I've done something a little bit naughty here. As you can see, Aaliyah James is wrestling, but she's only wrestling to lose to our queen of the Lariat League, which is Heidi Katrina. That's her name. I'm not going to forget it anymore. And I've done this for 2 reasons. One, Aaliyah James is leaving us, so let's just get, a rub performance from Heidi. And also, Heidi is our queen, so, we shouldn't shit on her. And let's just, put her in a match. She gets another win under her belt, ahead of Ashes II Ashes. So in this match, about had decent wrestling but not much heat. Heidi Katrina defeated Aaliyah James with a spear, and Heidi has made defense number 1 of her Queen of the Lariat League title. 1 more defense than Millie McKenzie did. I did have a mini panic as to like, what if Heidi gets injured and Aaliyah becomes my champion? Oh no, but it didn't happen, so that's absolutely fine. Also, Aisha injury isn't serious. She can work through it, so I'm gonna make her work through it. But we've got one more pre-show match here, and it is the KO squad defeating Big T, Little T, when Anthony Ogogo pins Big T Justice with the Governor's Hammer. Levi and Ogogo doing much better than they did last time. Must have been, debuting nerves from Anthony Ogogo. Big T with a 49 and Tate Mayfair's with a 60. I really should start using him a bit more. But a great win for the KO squad, especially Levi Muir, who is definitely going to be a star in the future, let's be honest. But this does take us to our opening match of the televised card, and it is some tag team action. Boisterous Behaviour taking on the Swan and the Scotsman. The Swan and the Scotsman, who have been having some issues as of late. And in a bout that had great wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd, Boisterous Behaviour get the win. They defeat the Swan and the Scotsman, and it looks like Grado again is eating the loss for the Swan and the Scotsman. And just like before, he seems to just shrug it off as if it's no big deal. And that is really upsetting Cara Noir, the Black Swan of LLW. Leon Slater with a 63, which is nice. Derice with a 54. Grado with a 56, so not the worst in the match. And Cara Noir with a 73. 71 overall, really strong opener. And post-match, Cara's had enough. He grabs the mic and he calls out Grado and just says, I don't want to be in a team with the Scotsman anymore. In fact, I want to face the Scotsman at Ashes to Ashes. And Grado, kind of prancing around, kind of like, oh, okay, like, calm down, mate. And Cara's very serious. He's like, no, this is not funny. This is not a joke. I will be seeing you at Ashes to Ashes, and I'm going to be teaching you a lesson. And Grado kind of suddenly becomes serious and realizes that this is a legit challenge. And he just says, grabs the mic and just goes, okay, you're on. And so that match is set. It will be Cara Noir taking on Grado, the Swan versus the Scotsman. No longer with. A 59 rated segment, not bad, can't complain. So yeah, let's keep going. Another match added to the card, which is looking very tasty at the moment. Following this, we've got some tag team action and a debut for Rina Yamashita, who I was probably going to slide into the main event should Aisha Ray not be available. And yeah, looking at those numbers, I kind of wish I did. So in a decent match, Kanji and Rina Yamashita get the win. They defeat Nikki Storm and Shakara in 13:56 when Rina Yamashita pins Shakara with a splash mountain. And in terms of rim work, Rina was head and shoulders above everyone else. That is awesome to see. I wanted to kind of bring someone in who had the same kind of skills as Millie McKenzie, and Rena's numbers were almost identical, if not a little bit better. It's just the popularity, that isn't really comparable. But yeah, let's just recap the gimmick change. She's a badass, and it came across as great, so that is awesome to see. 58 overall, 63 from Rina, 46 from Kanji, 40 from Shakara, and a 51 from Nikki Storm. Decent. Let's continue. And next up, we have that 87 rated rematch. Do you think they're going to get anywhere near that now that I'm recording? I guarantee you they won't. But it is Timothy Thatcher taking on El Hijo del Fantasma. An 82. Okay, not as great, but still very good. In a bout that had superb wrestling and good heat, Timothy Thatcher, of course he does. He's the machine. Timothy Thatcher gets the win over El Hijo del Fantasma, and both Bobby Guns and Thatcher getting the win over their upcoming opponents for Ashes to Ashes. And he defeats him with the Thatcher stretch. El Hijo with a 65 and Timothy with an 85. El Hijo and Timothy have pretty good chemistry, and that is something that we are going to return to every now and then, because why not? 82, awesome match, especially for a company of our size. Apologies if you can hear a plane, it's very loud. I can hear it, so you guys might. But following this, we have a little face-to-face between Tyler Bate and Ashton Smith. A rematch from LLW Tempest will be happening at Ashes to Ashes, and it's just, your generic face-to-face. They kind of talk trash about each other. Actually, in this case, they say very nice things about each other. Tyler Bate is obviously a huge star. Ashton Smith, not so much a household name, but he's earned the right to be a household name now because of his incredible, and I know it's already early days, but legendary run as the Lariat League king. So he's looking to get his crown back, and obviously Tyler's going to do his best to make sure that doesn't happen. So yeah, this should be a really good match for Ashes to Ashes. But now we are here. It is the final of the Queen's Quest tournament. Aisha Ray, who is nursing an injury, facing off against Zoe Lucas. Who's your money on? Let me know. The winner will be facing Heidi Katrina at Ashes to Ashes for her Queen of the Lariat League title. Let's go. 56, better than I thought it'd be, mainly because of, the injury. But in a decent match, it's Zoe Lucas that gets the win. Wow, she defeats former Queen of the Lariat League, Aisha Ray, in the final to win the Queen's Quest tournament, meaning that it will be Zoe Lucas taking on Heidi Katrina at Ashes to Ashes for the Queen of the Lariat League title. Zoe with a 40, Aisha Ray with a 59, even though she had an injury. They've got great chemistry as well, so that's something that we'll definitely return to when Aisha Ray is fit again. And yeah, ended with a crowd buzzing match, which is always nice to see. So let's finish the show, see how we did. And we got a 58, which is pretty good. Not the best, but 58 is much higher than we need it to be at this stage. And as you can see, our attendance is increasing, which means our popularity is increasing. Haven't looked at it, like the same I do every other episode. I don't look at the popularity until we look at it together or while I'm recording. But that is the end of this show. We do need to get to the end of the month, so what I'll do is I'll get to the end of the month and then we'll just quickly recap money, popularity, and also I will confirm the final card for Ashes to Ashes. Alright, I'll see you guys there. And we are in June, and I might not sound the happiest because let's just go to emails and see what happened. Tyler Bate, our king of the Lariat League, Tyler Bate, he sustained an injury. He's not wrestling for anyone else. He's strained his wrist. Doing what, Tyler? Doing what? I can think of a few things of how you might strain your wrist, but I'm not saying it. So I've looked at the injury and I sound a lot more annoyed than I actually am because he's only out for one day. So what I've done is I've just pushed Ashes to Ashes to Wednesday instead of Monday. I know that's a little bit cheeky, but just looking at the schedule here, Monday would have been fine because we're only losing Rain, but then Tyler would be restricted in his performance. Tuesday, we've got a few people out. I mean, Dijakovic is in a match, so we need him. Aisha Ray we might put on the pre-show, as well as Yamashita. She's a baller. So, yeah, we don't lose any of those people. Brookside is just, never here, so she can do one. So, yeah, we've moved it to Wednesday instead. So, yeah. That's that. Let's just go back. I'll need to remember to change that back afterwards though. And let's look at our size. We're a 47 now, which I believe means we've gone up by 2. Nice. I'm assuming we went up by like 1 midway through, because there was no growth from the beginning of April as a 45. So I'm assuming like week 1 we might have gone 46 and now we're 47. So that's good to see. So we need to be 59 in popularity to get to medium and 35 in the Midlands. So we're already 44 in the Midlands, which is awesome. So it's just getting us to 59 popularity in Southern England. So that's another 12 points. So it's probably going to be another year or so before we're medium, but that's fine. We're kind of just chugging along now. As we get more popularity, everything else goes up. You can see here with the money, we've made 176,000 this month. Not as much as last month, but remember we did make a load of money off of selling Rev Pro. So we're in the millions now. We officially have over $1 million, which is pretty awesome. And then just quickly going to the federations, we're 24th in the world. So who have we jumped above now? I can't see us. There we are. So we are above. They've jumped up. MLW. Oh no, we haven't we have to do it by size. Hold on. Here we are. So yeah, so we've jumped above the two that we mentioned. So Pro Wrestling Zero and ICW. So we're coming for Black Label Pro, who've got a really cool roster. Ice Ribbon are coming up next, which will be good. If we can get bigger than Ice Ribbon, it means people like Rena will want to perform for us rather than Ice Ribbon. So yeah, that's one of the most important things about increasing in size here is, say for example we sign someone from Ring of Honor, they're always going to want to perform for Ring of Honor instead of us, whereas if we were above Ring of Honor, they'll want to perform for us instead of Ring of Honor 9 times out of 10. But yeah, that's awesome. Let's just jump to our title page just so you can see. Zoe Lucas won this. I don't think she stays the champion. There's been no successful title defenses. No, we need to edit. It's an achievement, yeah. So it should just be a one-off, no? I don't know how this works. I might have done this wrong. Annual competition? Is that how we're meant to do it? Title retained after victory? No. Held at? We'll just say none. Format? Oh, we should have done that. Save. Does it reset it? It gets rid of her thing. Alter champion. We can't. Okay. Well, Zoe Lucas was our first Queen's Quest champion. She's gone now. So yeah, let's just ignore that. Kind of screwed that over, but who cares? Our Queen Lariat League is Heidi Katrina. This bitch has got the most luck in the world, defeating Millie McKenzie, who broke her bloody neck. And will now face Zoe Lucas at Ashes to Ashes. Our Knights of the Lariat League, Gunpowder, will be facing Phantasmambo at Ashes to Ashes as well. And then our main event will be Tyler Bate taking on Ashton Smith in a rematch, which should be a really, really good match. And we do need to do one more thing here. We need to activate our Prince of the Lariat League title, and that will be decided in a 3-way match between Dan Maloney, Dominic Dijakovic, and Ricky Knight Jr. Forgot for a second. That should be a really, really good match, and I believe that's going to be our opener. And then on top of all of that, we also have Cara Noir taking on Grado. So those are our 5 matches for the night. Yes, 5 matches. I'll also throw in a bunch of fun pre-show matches too, because, you know, why not? We've got a lot of talent that we're not using that we don't want to really waste. And yeah, that's pretty much everything, I believe. So if we just end here, shall we look at the Ashes to Ashes logo? We can't. Wait, we can. Somewhere. Events. Ashes to Ashes. There we go. So here we are. Ashes to Ashes in the next episode. Super excited. Hopefully it does one better than Tempest, which did a 66. Oh, I don't know now. Either way, it's going to be a good one. So thank you very much for this episode, guys. Injuries already kicking us in the arse, but you know, you just got to deal with it. So please like, comment, subscribe, share. Let me know who you think's winning what at Ashes to Ashes, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye.